Right, the learning goal of this video, is what is an actual equation? So an equation connects some unknowns, let's say x's to x plus 2x plus 5, and a value, okay? And the important thing about equations that you need to know is it's got an equal sign there. Now, you've seen equations before in the context of what number plus 3 equals 10, or the question you saw might have had a triangle. Oh, it doesn't have to be 3, does it? I missed B4. Let's choose the number 7 equals 5. Okay, so you've seen things like this before. And what you would have done is you would have gone, oh, that's 7. 7 plus 3 equals 10. And in this one, you would have gone, if I do 12 take away 7, I get 5. And you could have inspected the answer. So there's a word I've used, inspection. Now, that's all well and good for easy questions. But what does it actually mean? And it's a thing called reverse operations. So if I have the operation of addition, the opposite of that, the one that removes it, is takeaway. I'm going to call them opposite. You might want to call it reverse, inverse. Inverse is a word that you see a little bit in maths. Opposite of subtracting is addition. The opposite of multiplying is dividing. And the opposite of dividing is timesing. So let's have a look at 4 straightforward examples. Okay, so I'm going to do this to my board. I'm just going to divide it into, doesn't have to be X every time. It can be any letter you want. Let's have 5y equals, let's go 30. And let's do a division. You're telling me that looks like a fraction. It is. Fractions are dividing and fractions are your friends. So this is how you need to solve them. So if I look at this, I want to eliminate this plus 4. So I want my answer to look like x equals something. So I do the opposite, and the opposite of adding 4 is taking 4. And because there's an equal sign, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Otherwise, it's not equal anymore. So when I do 4 take away 4, you get 0. And 10 take away 4 is 6. And you don't need to write this plus 0. You can just write x equals 6. So let's look at this one. You want to eliminate that negative 3. So the opposite of subtracting 3 is adding 3. So then I get m minus 3 plus 3 is 0, but you don't need to write that 0. You can just write m equals 7 plus 3 is 10. Now, for some people who struggle with the harder questions, going back to these basics helps. If I have 5y equals 30, right, the opposite of multiplying is dividing, but you'll find that fractions make things easier and they look better. And especially if you want to be an awesome mathematician, use fractions. It's pretty impressive. So the opposite of times is divide, and I'm going to do it like this. 5y divided by 5 and 30 divided by 5. So what happens is those 5s cancel, and I'm left with y equals 30 divided by 5 is 6. Now, some people have been taught to do it this way, and there's many, many other ways, and I'll go through them in class, and that is okay. This video is for me, and if I showed you every single way of setting it out, you'd be watching this for a long time. So the next one, we've got this e over 3 means e divided by 3. Okay, so if we try and look at that one, the opposite of divide is times. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. So what happens is this. I've got 3 times e over 3, and you don't have to do this. This is me explaining. 3 times e is 3e, and 1 times 3 is 3, equals 4 times 3 is 12. They cancel out, and I'm left with e equals 12. And you can check, does 12 divided by 3 equal 4? It certainly does. Hope this helps.